All right, Georgia State taking on Marshall. We've got Georgia State, Marshall in this one, 9-point home favorites, 52 the total. I thought it was a great spot for Georgia Tech bye week last week, facing Old Dominion, who I thought, yeah, they're improved, but are they going to win again? And it was just not good enough from Georgia State. They were very disappointing to me in that game. I lost with Georgia State. I'm not really excited to get back on the Express with them here now. Short week going on the road against a very solid Marshall team. The more I see Marshall, the more I think they're pretty solid. Keep that in mind. They played well. They did have they are coming off just an absolutely stunning loss, though. They had that game in the bag against Georgia Southern last week. And then Georgia Southern down the stretch, 3 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes to turn that game around and get the victory. And I believe it was Dexter Williams who came in at quarterback for Georgia Southern, replaced J.C. French, and he's what stimulated
unreal force.
Incredible. And then on the last play of the game, I think they were down to 4th down and they punched it in for the game-winning touchdown. Incredible comeback. Both Stone Earl and Braylon Braxton, the Tulsa transfer at quarterback, ended up playing in this game for Marshall at quarterback. I still don't love the quarterback situation from them. Both guys are inconsistent. They have to run the football to have success. That is critical. I think when you look at Marshall games, you have to evaluate whether their opponent can stop the run, whether their opponent is good against the run or not. And Georgia State is not. They're giving up 174.8 rushing yards per game, 103rd in the country against the run. That's probably good news for Marshall because they need to be able to run the football to have success. And like I said, Georgia State's giving up 4.6 yards per carry and almost 175 rushing yards per game. So it's probably a game where Marshall's offense can work. They're off that stunning, staggering loss. Can we lay 9 with them, though? That's the question. I don't know if I'm going to get involved in this one. There's a lot of question marks. Is Georgia State good enough, though, on the road? Christian Veillere is a head-scratcher at quarterback. He had a couple of really good games. The Vanderbilt game last week was not one of his better games at quarterback. Like I said, that Georgia State run defense, put it this way, even though they're getting a lot of points, that Georgia State inability to stop the run against a Marshall team that, if their offense works, it's because they can run the football. That's enough to keep me off Georgia State, that's for sure. So by default, I would lean Marshall here. And coming off the loss back home now, I don't know if you'd want to step in front of Marshall. They got to be seething, absolutely seething. They let that game slip away against Georgia Southern last week. C-Mac, what do you think here? Georgia State, Marshall.
And Marshall, they're basically counting that, last week as a push. This team's been money, ATS. But I think they're in a different spot here now, where it's just different. Last year, Georgia State won. Year before that, Marshall at home won by 5. They will have success against Georgia State, and that I don't love. They should be able to run it, but I don't trust the quarterbacks to do anything. Who's ever in Earl, especially, I don't buy it. And this Georgia State defense is great, but I think this team can move the ball a little bit on Marshall. Because I think Marshall has a little bit of the better defense. But at 9 points, I think and everyone's thinking Marshall with their record, Georgia State. I thought it's been crazy. I lost with Old Dominion with their quarterback dealing with issues, but it's every time, I think even this week again, maybe look at Old Dominion. That's why I didn't mess with that close game last week with Georgia State. But I think they have enough talent to move the ball here a little bit. But they don't stay here. So I love the 9. Give me Georgia State.
All right, liking Georgia State here, getting the points against Marshall. Yeah, it is a lot of points to be laying. I get that. All right.